Hey everyone, Dan at Ochiko Bushcraft. I am up on the high desert on a very cold and snowy morning. And I want to show you guys, if you're out on the high desert in winter and it looks like everything is wet, which a lot of it is from the snow, two great fire starting resources. And I've got my flint and steel kit with me. So we're going to see if just using char cloth in the middle of winter on the high desert, we can get fire. So let me pause you guys and I'll take you over to our first fire starting resource. Okay, we're walking up on some sagebrush here. Nice big piece of sagebrush. Now if you look at this sagebrush, there's snow up on top of it. But everything underneath is still dry enough to start a fire. So there's actually snow right here on top. But underneath, this bark is still dry. So that bark that I pulled from underneath that sagebrush was completely dry. Same thing applies to juniper trees. There's snow up on top. This under here is dry. We're gonna see if we can find a spot where you guys can see, because the light around this high desert right now is crazy, or we can get a flint and steel fire started with this sagebrush bark and juniper bark, again in the middle of winter on the high desert. I'll tell you what, it is so much light out here reflecting off the snow right now that finding a place where the glare isn't lighting up the camera so bad you guys can't see is pretty tough to do. So I've got a striker and I got a flint. And in the Altoids tin I've got char cloth. So I'm just going to take one piece of this char cloth out. Okay, I'm setting everything off to the side for a moment. And I'm going to take this juniper bark and sagebrush bark that we pulled off, those under branches, and I'm going to start breaking it up and turning the fibers inside out, making fine little hairs. So I'm basically going to make a nest. You see that right there? I'm going to make a nest down inside the end of that, full of fibers that I'm tearing up. Again, I apologize that I can't get a better view out here. This sun reflecting off the snow just whites out the camera if I don't get in the shade. Okay, I've got a few more here. I've got a little bird's nest made right up inside here, a little cup. When I get that char cloth sparked, put that in here, see if we can blow this into flames. All right. Okay. I like to lay it right on the edge. Stand up here where you guys can see better, I hope. So when I strike this, we hopefully throw a spark right on top. You see those sparks? I got just a little bit of wind coming at me. Oh, not quite. I'm gonna have to actually try to use the camera to block the wind because the wind's taking the... There we go. I don't know if you guys can see that. Got a nice glowing one right there above my thumb. Okay. I'm going to put that down in here. Poke it down in there a little bit in that nest. And let's see if we can blow this into flame. There we go. We got fire. Look at that. We got fire. There it is. Can you see that back there burning away? So again, this is just a quick survival tip for you guys if you're up on the high desert country in the winter and you break down or something, and that happens a lot. In fact, last Sunday there were 7 trips by search and rescue out to rescue people who got their vehicles stuck in the snow and the mud on the high desert. 7 different rescues. So if you're one of those people that ends up in a situation where you're stuck on the high desert and you need fire and you're thinking, man, everything is wet, everything's covered with snow. Remember, the underside of juniper branches, juniper limbs, and the underside of sagebrush, pull off that dry bark, crumble it up, turn it inside out, start tearing the fibers and turn it up so you get little hair-like fibers. So my fire's still burning behind me. I just set that down in the snow and it's still burning. So again, I wanted to do this with a flint and steel so that you guys could see how easy that stuff ignites, even in the middle of winter when everything's covered with snow and wet. There are places the snow gets everything wet on top. Just reach up underneath and it's nice and dry. So you got matches, you got lighter, you got an easy fire. If I can get a fire with flint and steel out here in the snow, you can get a fire with matches or lighter, or even a ferro rod. And if you got some Vaseline and cotton balls, no problem. So this is just a quick survival tip. Very appropriate considering that last Sunday search and rescue had to rescue 7 different vehicles who were stranded up on the high desert in the snow and the mud. So if this tip helps you out at some point in time, I'd love to hear about it. Take care and stay safe, everyone. Dan at Ochiko Bushcraft.